yesterday into last night that we were going to deal with this lake effect snow, even though the models weren't really picking up on it just because it's so cold and the lake is still very warm. This is the system that we are tracking for Monday night, Tuesday into Wednesday. You notice how large it is going through the Dakotas. That's headed this direction. We are expecting the possibility for some pretty significant snow. You can see the advisories and warnings all along that. We are under a winter storm watch because of that system for Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, and Ashtabula County going until Wednesday evening. So starting Monday night into Wednesday evening. It's likely, though, that the snow will start to taper off by Wednesday morning. Here's our current temperatures. It's cold out there, 19 in Ravenna, but it feels like 11 degrees. Those feels like temperatures are going to stay pretty cold in Akron, Canton. Plan on temperatures being in the upper 20s for today. Partly sunny skies, but we can't rule out that light lake effect snow.
Bitter cold 11. Thanks, Brian. Well, how liable are you when it comes to the things you post online? We're learning how insurance investigators could be judging your lifestyle and analyzing their risk. From thrilling pictures to just the basics of your life, what you may not know is companies like employers are now building a portrait of your life and risk by what you post. Is this even legal, you ask? An attorney with the Consumer Advocacy Center in Chicago says if it's something that's available to the public, then they can look at it. Adding insurance adjusters may be looking at things like, do you have a clean driving record but post photos of yourself street racing, or neglect to mention that you like to climb mountains for fun, something one lawmaker says is shocking.
I think people would be shocked in this state to know that anything you post on Facebook could be used in a fraud investigation by the insurance industry.
Insurance companies say the practice of watching social media greatly reduces fraud. And in some cases, some people have been convicted of insurance fraud after false information was found online. Now, before we send it to break, here's a look at last night's winning lottery numbers. We wish you the best of luck. More controversy at the White House right now, but it's not about President Trump. The Secret Service is once again facing questions about how they do their job after an intruder was able to scale the White House fence and roam the grounds before being challenged near the entrance to the first family's residence. More troubling, the president was inside at the time. Chuck Sievertson has more.
There was plenty of Secret Service protection at the White House Saturday, but that didn't seem to be so just before midnight Friday night. A man wearing a backpack made it over the White House fence undetected. Court documents say he then made his way onto the grounds, hid behind a pillar, and approached the south portico entrance not far from the east wing where the first family's residence is located. The fence scaler was then stopped and questioned, allegedly telling the agent he was a friend of the president and had an appointment. 26-year-old Jonathan Tran from California was arrested by Secret Service. He appeared in D.C. Superior Court Saturday afternoon. Authorities say he was carrying 2 cans of mace, a letter to President Trump that mentioned Russian hackers. He also reportedly told authorities he was schizophrenic. Today at lunch, President Trump congratulated the Secret Service.
Secret Service did a fantastic job. It was a troubled person.
Yet this is just the latest embarrassing security lapse at the White House to put the Secret Service on the defensive.
This gentleman on Friday jumped and got literally all the way to the White House, which is a bit spooky because he didn't have a weapon, so he probably couldn't have hurt anybody, but they didn't know that.
This flag-wearing intruder scaled the fence on Thanksgiving Day in 2015 as the first family was eating their holiday meal. He was arrested. And a year earlier, this man carrying a knife sprinted across the lawn and was caught only after getting inside the White House. Jonathan Tran is being held without bond for a court hearing on Monday. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News, New York.
A toddler is dead and 2 others critically hurt after a fire in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Dozens of police and firefighters responded to the scene where 3 young girls had to be rescued from the burning townhouse. 2 of the girls remain in the burn center in critical condition.
We had 1 victim that jumped from a 2nd floor porch roof. We had 2 victims that our firefighters valiantly rescued via ground ladder.
The girl's father and a teenage boy were also home at the time. They were treated for smoke inhalation and released. Firefighters say a rechargeable hoverboard is being blamed for starting that fire. And a firefighter en route to fight that blaze ended up fighting for his life. Lieutenant Dennis DeVoe, a 21-year veteran, was on his way when witnesses say he was T-boned by a car that blew through a stop sign. The driver, 19-year-old Kanye Kendow, then fled. DeVoe suffered serious injuries. Police say Kendow also went to the hospital where she lied about the accident, later failing a field sobriety test. Kendow has been charged with the accident, DUI, and other offenses. A classic song. Music fans are mourning the death of Joni Sledge this weekend. The founding member of the vocal group Sister Sledge died on Friday at the age of 60. Her publicist says she was found dead at her home in Phoenix. There's no word about her cause of death, but the publicist says that Sledge was not sick. Besides We Are Family, Sister Sledge recorded other hits, including My Guy and He's the Greatest Dancer. Now we want to get right back to our top story, the weather.
Well, especially because
Coming
we have
back
that,
with a vengeance.
Yes, we have that winter storm watch now. We got woken up by that text messages, that text alert that I get from the National Weather Service of the winter storm watch that we got put under for Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, and Ashtabula County, going from Monday evening through Wednesday.
So tomorrow's commute should be fine, though.
Tomorrow morning's commute should be okay. Tomorrow evening should be okay as well, but it's Tuesday morning and Tuesday night that might start to get a little rough because that's when we are expecting the heaviest of the snow. We'll time it out for you here in just a moment. Here's a live look at downtown Cleveland where we've got cloudy skies, and we have been dealing with a little light lake effect. Now, while the watch that we do have is mainly for the snow belt areas, this is going to be more than just the snow belt. Everybody's expecting snow, but it's the snow belt area that will get more lake enhancement because we do have that warm lake, cold temperatures out there right now, allowing for this light lake effect snow. It is a little more moderate in a couple of spots near Strongsville, near Berea there. Twinsburg, Hudson dealing with a little bit of moderate snow, and then even off to the west in Lorain County, Oberlin dealing with a little moderate snow as well. Here's the system we're watching. Well off to the northwest at this point, through the Dakotas, Minnesota. That's where the heaviest of the snow is right now. And you see all the warnings and advisories all along that into western Ohio. We have been put under a winter storm watch. So it's likely that we'll get upgraded to a winter storm warning, and then more of the viewing area will get added to a winter weather advisory or the winter storm warning. Here's a look at our futurecast. We'll time this out for you through the rest of today. Partly sunny skies, very similar to what we had yesterday. That mix of sun and clouds, temperatures in the 20s, a little bit of light lake effect. By tomorrow morning, we're going to start to deal with some light scattered snow. We'll top off into the mid to low 30s for tomorrow. Notice around New Philly, Carrollton, a little rain snow mix at first because of those warmer temperatures. But as the snow really starts to pick up for us, temperatures are going to drop throughout the night. We may get a little bit of a break from the initial surge of this storm moving through, but then we're going to start to get some cold air moving in, and that's when the lake enhancement's really going to take over with those colder temperatures into the mid-20s. We'll have a northerly wind. We're going to pull in that snow from the north, still across all of northeast Ohio, but you see the heavier bands through Medina, Cleveland, Mentor, Ashtabula, and that's where those snowfall totals are really going to start to pick up for us, and this will clear out into early Wednesday, but temperatures are going to be in the teens. Here's what we're expecting for snowfall totals. Off to the south, along Highway 30 there, Millersburg, New Philly, Carrollton, 3 to 5 inches. 5 to 8 as you get up towards Cuyahoga County, and then there's that heavier band of 8 to 11. This is Monday evening through early Wednesday when the snow is expected to start to taper off, but expect about half of this by Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning and Tuesday evening, that commute could potentially be a little nasty. Now, we do have a warm up in the forecast. We'll let you know when to expect it coming up.
Sounds good. Thank you, Brian. Well, if you've been procrastinating and still haven't filed your taxes this year, you're not alone. Apparently, a lot of people are waiting to file their taxes. The IRS says they've received 5.7 million fewer individual returns than they had at this time last year. The official filing deadline to submit your 2016 tax returns is Tuesday, April 18th. Now, you may notice that it's later. That's because April 15th falls on Saturday, and Monday, April 17th, is a holiday in Washington, D.C. Well, celebrations right now for Kent State. A long-awaited win for the Golden Flash last night. And King James doing what he does best, dominating the court as he and the Cavs break a losing streak against Orlando. Here's Hakeem Dermish with more.
Johnson throws it up there, and a golden season for the Golden Flashes. They are going dancing.
Oh, they were partying at Ray's Place last night in Kent for the first time since 2008. The Golden Flashes are going dancing in front of more than 10,000 fans last night at the Q. Kent State takes down rival and top seed Akron, winning the MAC championship. Here's how it went down. In the semifinals, Akron coach Keith Dambrot told his team to get this guy the ball. MAC Player of the Year, Isaiah Big Dog Johnson. Just over 11 minutes to go in the game. Akron down 2. Zips get Big Dog the ball. He had 24 points. We're tied at 43. 6 minutes to go. Kent State up 2 off the Akron Myths. Mitch Peterson outlet pass to Jimmy Hall for the monster dunk. Golden Flash is up by 4. 2:30 to go. Jalen Walker hit the game winner in the semis. He had a huge game in the championship. 30 points he pumps in, earned the MVP. Have a day, kid. Then Jimmy Hall drives right at Isaiah Johnson. Layup. He had a double-double, 19 points, 10 rebounds, and Kent State defeats Akron 70-65. Coach Rob Sendroff and the Golden Flash is going to the big dance. First time since 2008. Jimmy Hall there hugging his mama. Lauren Brill caught up with the MAC champs.
Congratulations. So I saw you go over right away. Was that to your mom?
Yeah, that was my mother, yeah.
What did you say to her?
Just, I love her so much, She's my rock. She in every game supporting me, She's been there with me from the beginning, I just want to tell her I love her, Every time I'm on the court, man, I'm doing it for her.
You guys led most of the game, but Akron did come back. Did you guys ever stop believing?
No, we never stopped believing. We knew we was going to get this chip. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Akron's a tough team. Tip my hat off to them. Knew they was going to come back, but we just had to, grind and win.
Congratulations, you got the MVP award.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, man. I work so hard for this. It's just a dream. It's just a dream come true.
First time this program's been to the NCAA tournament since 2008, and first time with you as head coach.
Well, I'm just happy for our players and the school and the people that hired me and everybody that's here right now.
Emotional stuff there. Love that. Congrats to Coach Rob Senderoff and Kent State. The Golden Flash will find out who and where they'll play in the Big Dance later tonight. From the MAC champs to the reigning NBA champs, LeBron James and the Cavs in Orlando last night, where LeBron put on a show, posting his 9th triple-double of the season. LeBron and the Cavs looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. Check it out here. LeBron and Darren Williams working the give and go to perfection. The one-handed throwdown from number 23. Clear for takeoff. Then J.R. Smith misses the 3, but Kyrie Irving gets the rebound and feeds it back to Smith with a no-look pass, dropping dimes. J.R. playing in his second game back from a broken right thumb. He had 11 points off the bench. Cavs up by 10. In control. Third quarter, Tristan Thompson to LeBron for another one-handed dunk. Baseline, that was pretty. Fourth quarter, Channing Frye to LeBron. LeBron throws a bullet pass right back to Frye. Cavs win it 116-104, snap 3-game slide. LeBron with his second triple-double in as many games. Last night, 24 points, 13 assists, 12 rebounds. LeBron's 9th triple-double of the season. Cavs play again tonight at Houston. That's your morning sports. I'm Hakeem Dermish. Have a great day.
Right now, an RTA bus driver is recovering after his bus was shot at early this morning. More on the search for who was behind it. And is Alexa spying on you? Amazon's digital assistant may be listening to every word you say. Good Morning Cleveland will be back in 3 minutes.
Welcome back to Good Morning Cleveland on News 5.
We start this half hour with a live look outside where it is a whopping 24 degrees. Good news, we might go up to 27. Welcome back to the Sunday edition of Good Morning Cleveland. I'm Mona Kosar Abdi. We've got several developing stories for you, including an early morning shooting involving an RTA bus driver right now in the hospital. We have the latest on his condition. But first, we want to send it over to meteorologist Brian Shaw, who's tracking the weather. And Brian, a possible winter storm as well.
Yeah, Mona, it's not just the cold temperatures that we have to worry about over the next couple of days. It's the possibility for some significant snowfall Monday evening, throughout the day on Tuesday into early Wednesday is when the snow is going to be worse. So Tuesday morning, Tuesday evening commutes, looks like they could be pretty rough. It's cold again for today with partly sunny skies and a little light lake effect out there, but expect some difficult travel for your Tuesday. Monday morning will be okay. Monday evening should be okay. That's when we are expecting that snow to start up for us. In Brunswick, we've got cloudy skies. No snow there at the moment. Maybe some light flurries as you see on our Power of 5 radar here. It is a little more moderate in a couple of spots around Brecksville, Richfield, Twinsburg, Hudson, Solon, dealing with a little bit of snow. Looks like 271 and 480 there, dealing with some moderate snow as well. So we do have some decent snowfall right now. It's not going to amount to a whole lot, but off to the northwest, significant snowfall through the Dakotas, and that's headed this direction. So along that, lots of advisories and warnings, and we've been put under a winter storm watch for Cuyahoga, Lake Geauga, and Ashtabula County. Now, while this is the snow belt, the reason just the snow belt is under the watch right now is because we are going to have lake enhancement. So the heaviest of the snow will possibly fall in the snow belt and secondary snow belt areas, while away from the lake you are going to get lesser amounts. Current temperatures out there right now are cold. It feels like it's in the teens, and it doesn't warm up all that much for today. Mid to upper 20s, a few spots in the low 30s, so very similar to what we had yesterday. We will talk about those snowfall amounts. We'll pinpoint how much to expect in your neighborhood coming up. Mona?
Thank you, Brian. Now back to our developing story. Justin, we are getting information about a shooting from this morning that put an RTA bus driver in the hospital. News 5's Meg Shaw is live on the city's west side. Meg, what is the latest?
Mona, I'm here at the intersection of West 44th Street and Lorraine Avenue here in Cleveland, and this is where Cleveland police tell us an RTA bus was shot at, sending the driver to the hospital. Now, it happened just before 4 o'clock this morning, and RTA tells me the bus was traveling eastbound when a bullet came flying through the front windshield. Thankfully, that bullet missed the driver, but they were transported to the hospital being treated for minor injuries. Now, at the time of the shooting, 4 people were on that RTA bus, but I'm told no one else suffered any injuries. Now, that RTA bus, back out here live, was not the only glass that was shattered here in this early morning shooting. Check out the glass to this business here on Lorraine Avenue. You can see a bullet actually went right through its front window. This is a double pane glass window, and you can see a bullet went right through that. I'm told no word on any injuries here. I'm assuming nobody was here at this business at 4 o'clock this morning. Now, I have reached out to Cleveland police for more details on this case. They say they have no details on any suspects at this time, and at this point there's no surveillance video released yet. I'm going to dig for more details and keep you updated. Live in Cleveland, Meg Shaw, News 5.
Thank you, Meg. Ohio small businesses affected by last year's drought may soon be getting some relief. The U.S. Small Business Administration is offering federal loans of up to $2 million. Included in the list of those counties are Ashland, Coshocton, and Richland. Small businesses, small agricultural cooperatives, small businesses engaged in aquatic culture, and private nonprofit organizations are eligible to apply. And the wheels on the struggle bus go round and round. This morning, a lot of us were commuters on that bus because we lost an hour of sleep last night. At 2 a.m., daylight saving time sprang time forward 1 hour. But whether in the spring or fall, researchers have found health risks associated with that time change. Heart attacks, strokes, and depression are just a few of the conditions that spike the day after we change the clock. While it can feel like a jolt to the system, a doctor we spoke with says the effects of this time change can be minimal and vary from person to person.
It depends on the type of person they are, what their endogenous biological clock is running, and so on, to make it easier or harder. The best thing to do is probably go to sleep earlier.
Good news, Dr. Nelson says the health risks associated with the time change often seem scarier than they actually are. In fact, people typically have strokes and heart attacks on Mondays, but that doesn't necessarily mean that daylight saving time is to blame. If you own an Amazon Echo, you might want to turn it off. That's because the technology that's meant to make your life easier can hear every word you're saying. The E-Team's Kristen Volk breaks down how it could lead to some serious economic implications.
So I've been telling you about those security risks posed by Alexa and other always-on devices, but keep in mind the economic impact as well. First of all, remember every time you ask Alexa to do something, turn on the lights, add a date to your schedule, even play music, the device keeps a record. It also tracks your likes, dislikes, and buying habits, since you can set it up to order for you online. The problem, remember the little girl who asked Alexa for a dollhouse and cookies? Then they arrived? Well, when a San Diego TV station ran that story, the news anchors chimed in.
I love the little girl's take on it. Alexa ordered me a dollhouse.
So everybody at home watching that newscast with an Echo set up for shopping inadvertently purchased a dollhouse. Amazon did not reveal how many.
She didn't recognize that as something that shouldn't happen, so she ordered a whole bunch of dollhouses that people didn't actually want.
Time magazine just reported Amazon is working to change this. It's working on a feature that would use voice prints to distinguish between speakers. That in turn would allow a primary account holder to require specific voice prints to access certain features. In the studio, I'm Kristen Volk, News 5.
Alexa, I need $1 million. No? Okay. Well, in need of a haircut? Today you can head over to North Canton, but a warning for you, full shaves only. Where to go to get the new do and help children in need. And if you haven't already, the time is now to spring forward, but fire officials have another reminder for you. Brian?
We're expecting cold temperatures again for today. Maybe a little bit of sunshine here and there, but the focus is on Monday night through Tuesday. Possibility for some significant snowfall accumulation. All of the details coming up. Hi there, everyone. Good morning. Power 5 meteorologist Brian Shaw here. We are dealing with some light lake effect out there. Now we do have some moderate snow in a couple of spots as far south as Akron now at this point, but the bulk of it around Brecksville, Richfield, Twinsburg, Hudson, moving south towards Stowe, Ravenna, and Shalersville there dealing with some moderate snow. This is going to be scattered throughout the morning, possibly into the afternoon. We'll get the occasional break of the cloud cover, but it's just the cold temperatures and still a warm lake allowing for this lake effect cloud cover and lake effect snow. Then we have this system well off to the northwest towards the Dakotas, so west of Minnesota there. That is headed this direction. Monday night through Tuesday, we are expecting the possibility for some significant snowfall accumulation. That's why we are under the winter storm watch. I'm expecting this to get extended into a couple of other areas to at least an advisory. Cold out there now, temperatures sitting in the mid to low 20s. Don't expect it to warm up all that much. Highs today only in the upper 20s.
Thanks, Brian. While everyone might be a little Irish come St. Patrick's Day, not everyone has that luck on their side. So today, a local fundraiser is providing haircuts to raise money for childhood cancer research. The St. Baldrick Foundation will be shaving heads at North Canton Racquet Club. Their goal is to raise $190,000 to fund research. The event kicks off at noon, and that's noon daylight saving time. And just like you set your clock forward today, don't forget to change the battery in your smoke alarm. Firefighters are reminding residents to swap out those old batteries and urging families to practice fire drills. The city also unveiled the new 10-year lithium smoke alarms. The Change Your Clock, Change Your Battery campaign is a national home fire safety program sponsored by the National Fire Protection Association, endorsed locally by the Cleveland Division of Fire and the American Red Cross. Asking the tough questions, News 5's John Kosick dives deeper into his exclusive interview with Vice President Mike Pence and gives us a look at next year's race for Ohio governor. We'll be right back. News 5 in the national spotlight for what Vice President Mike Pence wouldn't say this week in an interview with John Kosick. In this morning's Democracy 2017, John has that plus a look at the growing race next year for Ohio governor.
A very good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, and what a week it has been, from discussions on health care to allegations of high crimes and misdemeanors. Both of them coming to a head here in News 5 this week, and a conversation I had with Vice President Mike Pence. His deflection on my question on the president's tweet allegation that former President Obama wiretapped Trump Tower, making national news. But first, we talked about the Obamacare replacement and the concerns raised this week by Governor John Kasich and Senator Rob Portman for the 700,000 people in Ohio who are now covered through the Medicaid expansion of the ACA, an expansion that gets phased out in 2020. The Vice President telling me, we got you.
When it comes to Medicaid, we know that we can give states just like Ohio even more flexibility to make sure that those programs that exist to serve our most vulnerable can be tailored to the unique needs and challenges of the people of your state. And as a former governor from your neighbor in Indiana, I can tell you, I'm very confident that this legislation will give Ohio both the resources and the flexibility that your governor, your legislature will need to be able to meet those needs going forward and literally offer our most vulnerable citizens even better coverage.
We still don't know the cost of this. Why rush this through? Why not wait for the Congressional Budget Office to tell us how much it's going to cost? Well,
I think that we're moving in a very orderly and timely way from The day after the election, President Trump directed leaders in the Congress to make repeal and replacement of Obamacare the #1 priority. We've been working very earnestly with the leadership in the House and Senate, as well as governors all across the country, to develop this plan. And the Congressional Budget Office numbers will be out a little bit later this week, maybe early next. And policymakers will have a different experience than we had 6 years ago, when, frankly, the Democrats in the Congress in the last administration wrote Obamacare in a back room and literally brought it to the floor of Congress with very little debate, very few amendments.
Healthcare is vitally important. It will determine the outcome of the 2018-2020 elections. It should be our sole focus right now, but sadly it's not, because there are other things out there. The president has alleged that the former president